Hello, ladies, and welcome to our new Bible reading series. I'm Cindra Enlow from heavenlyplace.com, and this year, as we read through the Bible, we'll explore God's incredible story of love and redemption. If you're looking for a Bible reading plan that's simple and doable, this is it. So let's get started and discover the heart of God together, one chapter at a time. Hello, ladies, and welcome back to our one-year Bible reading plan. This is week 18, day 2. And our reading for today is 1 Chronicles chapters 15 and 16 and Psalms 1, 2, and 15. In today's chapters from 1 Chronicles, David is once again bringing the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem, but this time he's doing it God's way. Earlier, when they didn't follow the Lord's instructions, you'll remember that Uzzah was killed because he touched the ark, and he wasn't authorized to do that. But now, after counsel, David prepares the right way to bring the ark into the camp. He assigns the Levites their proper roles, and the people are worshiping, and there's a joyful, reverent atmosphere. And David even appoints singers and musicians to minister before the ark day and night. It's just a beautiful picture of what worship-centered leadership looks like. The Psalms we're reading today fit this moment so well. Of course, they were written by David, and they're extra special to me personally because Psalm 1 was actually one of the first full chapters I ever memorized. Before that, I had memorized verses here and there, but never a whole chapter. And, this chapter 1 of Psalm speaks clearly about the blessing of walking in God's ways and not following the path of the wicked or of the world. And it paints a beautiful picture of a tree that's planted by the streams of water, and that it's steadfast, faithful, it's fruitful as it's being nourished. And, of course, that's the kind of life we all want to live. And then Psalm 2 reminds us that no matter how the nations rage or how people resist God's authority, he's still on the throne. The raging is futile. They don't realize the power of God. And it points forward to Jesus as the King, the coming King, whom God has set in place. And then in Psalm 15, this one is especially meaningful to me because there was a time in my life when I was seeking direction, and I was really wanting to know if the decision that I was making was correct. And this psalm just gave me assurance as it asked the question, who shall dwell on your holy hill? And it answers it by listing qualities of integrity and honesty and righteous living. But, God used those words to guide me and to bring me to a place that I was completely blessed during that time. And it's just such an assurance when you get direction like that from God. But here's where we see the heart of God. We see that he's worthy of our worship, and he gives us clear direction, and he lovingly leads those who seek him. He tells us over and over in his word that if we seek him, we'll find him, or that he's not far from us, different things like that. And so whether we're joyfully worshiping like they were before the ark, or if we're quietly waiting for a time of assurance, he meets us where we're at. Okay, ladies, let's get into our reading. 1 Chronicles chapters 15 and 16 and Psalms chapters 1, 2, and 15. 1 Chronicles 15. David made himself houses in David's city, and he prepared a place for God's ark and pitched a tent for it. Then David said, "No one ought to carry God's ark but the Levites, for Yahweh has chosen them to carry God's ark and to minister to him forever." David assembled all Israel at Jerusalem to bring up Yahweh's ark to its place, which he had prepared for it. David gathered together the sons of Aaron and the Levites. Of the sons of Kohath, Uriel the chief, and his brothers 120. Of the sons of Merari, Asaiah the chief, and his brothers 220. Of the sons of Gershom, Joel the chief, and his brothers 130. Of the sons of Elizaphan, Shemaiah the chief, and his brothers 200. Of the sons of Hebron, Eliel the chief, and his brothers 80. Of the sons of Uzziel, Aminadab the chief, and his brothers 112. David called for Zadok and Abiathar the priests, and for the Levites, for Uriel, Asaiah, Joel, Shemaiah, Eliel, and Abinadab, and said to them, You are the heads of the fathers' households of the Levites. Sanctify yourselves, both you and your brothers, that you may bring the ark of Yahweh, the God of Israel, up to the place that I have prepared for it. For because you didn't carry it at first, Yahweh our God broke out in anger against us, because we didn't seek him according to the ordinance. So the priests and the Levites sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of Yahweh, the God of Israel. The children of the Levites bore God's ark on their shoulders with its poles, as Moses commanded, according to Yahweh's word. David spoke to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brothers as singers with instruments of music, string instruments, harps, and cymbals, sounding aloud and lifting up their voices with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman the son of Joel, and of his brothers, Asaph the son of Berechiah, and of the sons of Merari, their brothers, Ethan the son of Kishiah, and with them their brothers of the second rank, Zechariah, Ben, Jaaziel, Shemiramoth, Jehiel, Unna, Eliab, Benaiah, Maaseiah, Mattithiah, Eliphelehu, Machaniah, Obed-Edom, and Jael, the doorkeepers. So the singers, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, were given cymbals of bronze to sound aloud. And Zechariah, Aziel, Shemiramoth, Jehiel, Unni, Eliab, Maaseiah, and Benaiah with stringed instruments set to Alamoth. And Mattithiah, Eliphelehu, Machaniah, Obed-Edom, Jael, and Azaziah with harps tuned to the 8-string lyre to lead. Kenaniah, chief of the Levites, was over the singing. He taught the singers because he was skillful. Berechiah and Elkanah were doorkeepers for the ark. Shebaniah, Jehoshaphat, Nethanel, Amasiah, Zechariah, Benaniah, and Eleazar the priests blew the trumpets before God's ark, and Obed-Edom and Jehiah were doorkeepers for the ark. So David, the elders of Israel, and the captains over thousands went to bring the ark of Yahweh's covenant up out of the house of Obed-Edom with joy. When God helped the Levites who bore the ark of Yahweh's covenant, they sacrificed 7 bulls and 7 rams. David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, as were all the Levites who bore the ark, the singers, and Kenaniah the choir master with the singers. And David had an ephod of linen on him. Thus all Israel brought the ark of Yahweh's covenant up with shouting, with sound of the cornet, with trumpets, and with cymbals, sounding aloud with stringed instruments and harps. As the ark of Yahweh's covenant came to David's city, Michal the daughter of Saul looked out at the window and saw King David dancing and playing, and she despised him in her heart. 1 Chronicles 16. They brought in God's ark and set it in the middle of the tent that David had pitched for it, and they offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before God. When David had finished offering the burnt offering and the peace offerings, he blessed the people in Yahweh's name. He gave to every one of Israel, both man and woman, to every one a loaf of bread, a portion of meat, and a cake of raisins. He appointed some of the Levites to minister before Yahweh's ark, and to commemorate, to thank, and to praise Yahweh, the God of Israel. Asaph the chief, and second to him Zechariah, then Jael, Shemiramoth, Jehiel, Mattithiah, Eliab, Benaiah, Obed-Edom, and Jael, with string instruments and with harps, and Asaph with cymbals sounding aloud, with Benaiah and Jehaziel the priests with trumpets continually, before the ark of the covenant of God. Then on that day David first ordained giving of thanks to Yahweh by the hand of Asaph and his brothers. O give thanks to Yahweh, call on his name, make what he has done known among the peoples. Sing to him, sing praises to him, tell of all his marvelous works. Glory in his holy name, let the heart of those who seek Yahweh rejoice. Seek Yahweh and his strength, seek his face forevermore. Remember his marvelous works that he has done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. You offspring of Israel, his servant, you children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is Yahweh, our God. His judgments are in all the earth. Remember his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, the covenant which he made with Abraham, his oath to Isaac. He confirmed it to Jacob for a statute, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, saying, I will give you the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. When you were but a few men in number, yes, very few, and foreigners in it, they went out from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another people. He allowed no man to do them wrong. Yes, he reproved kings for their sakes. Don't touch my anointed ones. Do my prophets no harm. Sing to Yahweh, all the earth. Display his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the nations and his marvelous works among all the peoples. For great is Yahweh and greatly to be praised. He also is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the peoples are idols, but Yahweh made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and gladness are in his place. Ascribe to Yahweh, you families of the peoples. Ascribe to Yahweh glory and strength. Ascribe to Yahweh the glory due to his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship Yahweh in holy array. Tremble before him, all the earth. The world also is established that it can't be moved. Let the heavens be glad and let the earth rejoice. Let them say among the nations, Yahweh reigns. Let the sea roar and its fullness. Let the field exult and all that is in it. Then the trees of the forest will sing for joy before Yahweh, for he comes to judge the earth. Oh, give thanks to Yahweh, for he is good, for his loving kindness endures forever. Say, save us, God of our salvation. Gather us together and deliver us from the nations, to give thanks to your holy name, to triumph in your praise. Blessed be Yahweh, the God of Israel, from everlasting even to everlasting. All the people said amen and praised Yahweh. So he left Asaph and his brothers there before the ark of Yahweh's covenant to minister before the ark continually as every day's work required, and Obed-Edom with their 68 relatives. Obed-Edom also the son of Jeduthun and Hosah to be doorkeepers, and Zadok the priest of his brothers the priest, before Yahweh's tabernacle in the high place that was at Gibeon, to offer burnt offerings to Yahweh on the altar of burnt offering continually morning and evening, even according to all that is written in Yahweh's law, which he commanded to Israel. And with them Heman and Jeduthun and the rest who were chosen, who were mentioned by name, to give thanks to Yahweh, because his loving kindness endures forever. And with them Heman and Jeduthun with trumpets and cymbals for those that should sound aloud, and with instruments for the songs of God, and the sons of Jeduthun to be at the gate. All the people departed, each man to his house, and David returned to bless his house. Psalm 1. Blessed is the man who doesn't walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand on the path of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in Yahweh's law. On his law he meditates day and night. He will be like a tree planted by the streams of water that produces its fruit at its season, whose leaf also does not wither. Whatever he does shall prosper. The wicked are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked shall perish. Psalm 2. Why do the nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? The kings of the earth take a stand, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, Let's break their bonds apart and cast their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens will laugh. The Lord will have them in derision. Then he will speak to them in his anger and terrify them in his wrath. Yet I have set my king on my holy hill of Zion. I will tell of the decree. Yahweh said to me, You are my son, today I have become your father. Ask of me, and I will give the nations for your inheritance, the uttermost parts of the earth for your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron, You shall dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Now therefore be wise, you kings. Be instructed, you judges of the earth. Serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. Give sincere homage to the Son, lest he be angry and you perish on the way, for his wrath will soon be kindled. Blessed are all those who take refuge in him. Psalm 15. Yahweh, who shall dwell in your sanctuary? Who shall live on your holy hill? He who walks blamelessly and does what is right, and speaks truth in his heart. He who doesn't slander with his tongue, nor does evil to his friend, nor casts slurs against his fellow man, in whose eyes a vile man is despised, but who honors those who fear Yahweh. He who keeps an oath even when it hurts and doesn't change. He who doesn't lend out his money for usury, nor take a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things shall never be shaken.